Welcome to another Warhammer Fantasy Battle Report by Shyhammer Fantasy. And today we're going to have a three-way match between Brian's Warriors of Chaos, my Orcs, and my brother's Skaven. And basically we separate the board where we have two sides and one person in the middle. And every time we play this, my brother tends to get the middle, and today is no different. He got the middle. But let's go over the army list for Orcs and Goblins. This is Gorbad Ironclaw, the big mofo with a giant scythe on him. And he's with a unit of Goblin Wolf Riders. This is actually just like my Adepticon list, so this is for the sake of a lookout, sir. The Goblin Wolf Riders are actually a lot cheaper alternative. Equip them with spears and basically everything, spear shields and bows, and they actually have a little bit more versatility than the Orc boys or even the Savage Orc boar boys, just because they're a lot cheaper. Anyways, over here we have a lone Goblin Wolf Rider with a great weapon. We have the Mangler Squig, and then we also have a unit of 20 Night Goblins with Fanatics and Short Bows, as well as a Night Goblin Shaman. We have a unit of 21 Savage Orcs, Biggins, with the Orc Shaman in it, and the Orc Shaman has the Lucky Shrunken Head. And then over here we have a unit of 20 Black Orcs, and then over here we have 2 Doom Divers, and 18 Cave Squigs, and then 6 Herders. For Warriors of Chaos, he has a Demon Prince, but the Demon Prince is only going to be summoned up if he could drink out of the chalice, and it pops up with a lucky roll. He has a unit of 12 Warriors of Chaos here, heavily decked out with their armor and shields. And then he has another unit of 12 with also the BSB and the General, and their General is, like, I believe, a level 2 Sorcerer. Over here we have the Warhounds, 10 of them, and then we also have the Marauders. There's 30 of them, and they're also in that unit of Marauders. On the corner is Valkyria, I think Valkyria, it's the name. And she's just a pain in the ass. She's really a tough model. Over here we have in the back the Juggernauts, 3 of them, and we also have, that's going to be proxied as a Gore Beast chariot, even though there's horses on it, but it's a Gore Beast. For his spells, he got Blue Fire of Zinich, Zinich's Firestorm, and Infernal Gateway. And then for my magic, which I forgot to mention, I have Foot of Gork, Hand of Gork, Gaze of Mork, and Fist of Gork, as well as I had I think the armor piercing on the Goblin. For the Skaven, he has a Doom Wheel, 2 Warp Lightning Cannons, a Screaming Bell, a Hell Pit Abomination, and then he has the Gutter Runners. He has a unit of about like 40 to 50 slaves that are going to push the Screaming Bell into battle. He also has 20 to 25 Storm Vermin with a Warlord in there with the Fell Blade. And I believe he also has a Warplock Engineer and a unit of Rats. I didn't get pictures for all of this, I'm very sorry, but you can enjoy this picture of the Hell Pit. So the objective is to grab 3 points of interest. They're worth 1 point each. Your general's worth 1 point if he's alive, and their general's worth a point if you killed it. So the first objective point is this pool here. The second one would be this tree tower that is in the middle of where the Skaven and the Orcs and Goblins are going to start. And the third one is the High Elf tower in the corner by the Orcs. So whoever gets the most point at the end of the game will win. Let's get started into turn 1 right now. Brian had some vanguards with his wolves, but he forgot to do it until after the Skaven started moving. But anyways, Screaming Bell's going towards the tower to just kind of hold it as a block unit. And then the Doom Wheel goes ahead and moves up with the compulsory moves, goes straight for the Chariot and the Hounds. The Hell Pit moves up, and those are you can see the wolves on the left. Those wolves are the ones that end up vanguarding up once we realize that he didn't do it yet. And there they go. And then, and he has a unit of Rat Ogres, 6 Rat Ogres. They're going to head towards the middle of my Orcs over on this side. And then it goes into Orcs and Goblins turn 1. Orcs and Goblins fail animosity. Of course, if you've watched any of my videos or all of my videos with my Orcs and Goblins, my Night Goblin Archers always fail animosity. They are notorious for this because they can't shoot when they fail animosity. This is so annoying. Not only that, but they charge into that stupid pillar right in front of them. So there they go, failing a charge right into that pillar. But because they failed to charge, they release the Fanatics. 3 Fanatics go, and I'm going to go ahead and set them right into that unit of Rat Ogres. and they do 4 wounds total between the 2 of them that actually got through, killed off 1 full ogre and gave 1 wound to another. Not only did the Night Goblin, the Night Goblins fail the animosity, Gorbad failed his animosity, and Gorbad decides to charge straight into that unit of Rat Ogres as well, and he also clips the other Fanatic that didn't get in. That Fanatic only killed 1 guy, thank God, or thank Gork, but so Gorbad's right into the combat right there, and not only that, I believe in this turn I call out the law, I'm pretty sure. So since they already failed their animosities and charged in, I decided to charge in with my Savage Orcs into the Storm Vermin. So they're going to go into combat right there, pretty beastly combat. And this is kind of how it looks from the table end. You see the 2 giant blocks in fights right now. My Squigs kind of moved up, but they couldn't do much because they kind of got blocked by Gorbad's boys. And then my Mangler and Wolf Rider kind of just go up the side flank. And then we're going to go to Warriors of Chaos turn 1. Alright, Warriors of Chaos turn 1. We have the Juggernauts moving up a little bit, and then we also have just the Warriors kind of just shuffling forward to face that Hell Pit Abomination. And I believe the dogs actually charge in. Over here we have the Chariot and the whole block move up towards the Doom Wheel, and basically that was it. Oh, you can see also in this picture here that the rats, there's a unit of giant rats, they took over the pool. It's like little 6 rats, they're not going anywhere. And then magic, we got 8 power dice, 4 dispel dice, and then we're going to go ahead and start going around the table. First thing is the Skaven actually forget to use the Screaming Bell the first turn, but the Grace here on the Screaming Bell decides to do a spell. Oh, he does Skitter Leap, and he goes ahead and he throws the Doom Rocket right on the side flank of all of the Chaos, and Chaos did not see it coming and did not dispel it. So I go ahead and try to do the Foot of Gork, and I'm just going to go for the big one, use 5 dice on it, and I need an 18 plus, and I get 17. Yeah, that sucks. Means my Orc can't cast anymore. All I got is a Goblin Shaman left. And then we're going to go into Chaos's turn. He goes ahead and does Blue Fire Zinich, and I believe it actually goes off his next turn, which I don't know what happened the rest of the I think I failed my turn, and Skaven failed their turn. So he goes ahead and he does Infernal Gateway next, and he does it right onto the Hell Pit Abomination. He does 5 wounds onto it, and that was pretty much it for the magic phase. We're going to go into shooting phase next. Shooting phase, we're going to go into the first Warp Lightning Cannon. He's going to aim directly at the general, and he gets through. It overbounces a little bit, and it kills like 1 guy. Then I'm going to go ahead and do my Doom Diver, and I'm going to shoot my Doom Diver at the Juggernauts. And my idea for this was really, I wanted to see what the Doom Divers could do to a Juggernaut. And sure enough, it peeled off one of the Juggernauts, no problem. Warriors have no shooting, so then we're going to go right back into Skaven. Skaven, he gets a misfire on the second Warp Lightning Cannon, and it doesn't blow up. It does nothing for this turn. My second Doom Diver, I'm aiming it towards the slaves on the Screaming Bell, which I kind of feel like that was a waste, but I couldn't get a good proper angle on any of the warriors with all the pillars and stuff in the way. So I shoot, and I get a misfire. Excuse me. I get a misfire, and it says I can't shoot for this turn or next turn. The Doom Rocket goes ahead and goes next, and he rolls a beautiful roll, and it peels off only 2 guys in the back over there. But, yeah. And then I believe I'm out of shooting, so his next shot is the Zap from the Doom Wheel, and I believe he actually shoots his own guy for what he does. He shoots his own guy for 1 wound, and luckily it stopped there. So we're going to go into close combat, and this combat over here with the Rogers versus Gorbad and the Wolf Boys. Gorbad kills off 2 Rat Ogres with his Always Strikes First and D3 rule, and then he peels off 2 of them. Then the Rat Ogres go next, and he decides to attack my Wolf Boys because he figures it'll make me run away and he could possibly chase me away. He ends up killing 4 of the Wolf Boys. Wolf Boys go ahead and retaliate back, and I don't think they only did 1 wound out of the remaining wolves. So, but he did lose combat resolution. He turns around, he starts running. He's going to lose frenzy from that. Not only that, he runs into a Fanatic. So the Fanatic ends up killing off another Rat Ogre. So he has 1 Rat Ogre and 2 wounds left, and they're going to be running that way. As for this combat over here, the Savages, I get challenged by Little Brother. Little Brother is the name of the warlord, and he goes ahead and he kills off my champion. I only have the champion and the orc shaman in there. As for the storm vermin, they kill off one of my guys. Besides me losing my hero or my champion, I'm sorry. And then on the retaliation, I end up killing off 3 of his storm vermin, and I believe it was a stalemate. Nobody runs. We all kind of stay there. I end up turning my wolf boy. You can see him behind the tree. He's actually going to come in the side flank on the next turn. Turn 2. Wow, that was a long turn 1. And that's kind of how the game goes. The first few turns are going to be a lot longer because there's a lot more units. Screaming Bell decides to go ahead and move closer to the tree. And then his Doom Wheel decides to go right into that unit of Marauders. His Hell Pit goes ahead and charges right into the Juggernauts, which that's a cool picture. I should have put that as my YouTube picture when it comes up, the thumbnail. And then these guys, the Rat Ogres, continue to run. They don't. They fail their friends or their check, whatever. My Goblin Wolf Boy, like I said, he's going to charge right into that side flank over there. And then my Mangler's just going to keep running that way. I figured I would kind of just keep going to see what I run into over there. My first Fanatic, he decides to run into the trees and die. My second Fanatic, or my other Fanatics are dead, actually. There's no second Fanatic. Gorbad continues to chase. Actually, I restrained and I decided to go to attack the cannon next. So he just moves up, ready for a charge on the next turn. My Squigs come out of behind the tower there. My Archers are kind of SOL out of there. And I kind of just shuffle the Black Orcs over. Over here we have the Gorbeast's chariot charges into the side of the Doom Wheel. And then we have his warriors back up the Juggernauts with the Hell Pit. And then his Warhounds decide to go for the Rat Ogres that are running and pick off those guys. And then his other warriors kind of come over around the pool and they're ready to attack the giant rats. Magic phase, Skaven failed their first spell. My spell next, I go for the Hand of Gork and I put it on the Mangler Squig. And I decide to move the Mangler Squig up 15 inches past the slaves going towards the Chaos. And Chaos decides, that ain't going to happen. So on his spell, he shoots the blue fireball right at that Mangler. So, anyways, we're going to go into Skaven's magic. They're going to go ahead and do, I want to say he did like Warp Lightning and he tried to do it straight onto Gorbad. And it failed, thank God. Actually, I think I might have had to use a Dispel Scroll. I did. I used that guy's Dispel Scroll right there because I didn't want him touching my general. And then the rest of the spells kind of fizzle out and do absolutely nothing. So we're going to go into shooting phase next. First thing I do is I try to shoot a Doom Diver. I'm running out of possible options of what I could shoot because I actually put the Doom Divers in a very bad spot where they didn't have good line of sight to most things. So I try to go for the cannon here, and it just drifts off and does nothing. So next up, Skaven shoots the Warp Lightning Cannon at his general, the Chaos General, and it bounces a little too far, and it only kills off one guy. It doesn't even get a good bubble into the explosion. And then we're going to go into, my other Doom Diver can't shoot, and Chaos doesn't have any shots, so he's going to go ahead and do his next shot, which is Zap. And he zaps the group. I told him afterwards he probably would have been better off if he zapped the Gorbeast chariot. But either way, he zapped the group and he only killed one guy. Close combat, the Gorbeast chariot decides to do 2 wounds on the Doom Wheel just on impact hits alone, and the Doom Wheel does 1 on the group. And then Valkyria the Bloody decides to make way, come in, and she is a pain in the ass, even though he doesn't have the proper model for it. And he does pretty much the rest of the remaining wounds right onto that Doom Wheel, and it was like 4 wounds. Or 6 total, I think it was, and he just destroyed it, and it was just a brutal day. Over here, the Chaos Juggernauts just destroyed. He only had 1 wound left on the Hell Pit. Actually, it wasn't even the Juggernauts, it was the Warriors. But he rolls the dice to see if he could come back alive, and guess what? He pops up Rat Swarms, and since he wasn't prepared for the Rat Swarms, we just decided to use the Rat Ogres as the Rat Swarms. And then we're going to go to this side over here. My Savages decide to kill off about 5 to 6 Skaven Storm Vermin, and the Storm Vermin decide to kill off 3 of my Orcs, Orc Biggins, and then my Wolf Boy General, I believe, or Hero, he only kills off like 1 more. He lost by a lot. with the charge, or I don't even got the charge, but just ranks and everything like that. He lost by a lot, and he needed double ones to stay, and he rolled double ones. So he's going to sit there. He actually wanted to run. He wanted to get away from getting slaughtered, but he stuck around. His guys had different plans. The Warhounds, they're into the side flank over here. They get attacked by the Engineer. The Engineer actually kills one of them, and they end up killing off the Engineer on the retaliation. And then we're going to go into turn 3. Like I said, the turns start getting faster towards the end. His Warhounds here decide to charge into the Rat Ogres, which they failed. And this right here kind of messes with me. He has the Screaming Bell turned sideways, but it's not on the tree touching it. I thought it was actually meant to be where it is, but it's just the fact that the hill's there. My turn. Gorbad decides to charge right into the back of the cannon here. And then I'm going to go ahead and try to charge with the Squigs to the other cannon and charge the Black Orcs into the side flank of the Storm Vermin. And sure enough, these guys, they continue to run. They run into the trees. They actually get chopped down by the wolves. My Black Orcs go ahead and make the charge. Gorbad makes the charge to auto in, and then I think the Squigs fell short. We're going to go into Magic Phase next. We got 6 Power Dice, 4 Dispel. So Magic Phase, I don't know what Skaven did because I don't have a picture of it, which probably means that they failed their spell. It was just talk. And then right here I do the Fist of Gork onto my Orc Shaman. Figure I'll throw a couple little dice on there to help him in combat, and he fails miserably. So he loses the rest of his spells for that turn, or his casting for that turn. And then for Chaos, he does Tzeentch's Firestorm onto that unit of Skaven slaves right there, and not only does it hit them, but it does their boon magic, which is basically it drops this thing where it constantly burns every phase. I'm sorry. So it kills off 3 slaves right there. It'll eventually start whittling them away on their numbers. There's a special rule, Orb Flame special rule. So finally, Skaven remembered how to ring the bell on this turn, and we'll just allow it because it was kind of late. He rings the bell and he rolls, I forgot what number it is, but basically what happens is everything that has a toughness of 7 or more takes wounds based on a D3 roll. And sure enough, both of his cannons took wounds. My Doom Divers took wounds. One of my Doom Divers actually died from the wounds. And every War Machine's basically injured. We're going to go into Shooting Phase next. His cannon that's still operational misfires and cannot shoot this turn. The end of the end of the Shooting Phase causes 2 more Skaven slaves to die from the Warp Flame roll. So into close combat, we have the Warhounds. They get bit by the rats again, and they lose one more Warhound, and the Warhounds retaliate. And I don't think they kill a single rat, so the rats reform and face the Warhounds. Those are some buck rats, man. They're ROUSSs. As for the rat swarms, they're getting annihilated over here, of course, but they did do exactly what they're supposed to do and just kind of tarp hit that unit, which they did very well. Gorbad and the boys, they end up destroying that cannon, not a problem, mincemeat. And then my savages, they lose 2 savages to, I believe, Little Brother. Between the savages, my hero, and the Black Orcs, basically we killed everybody except one. I mean, they got sandwiched between some killer units there, and the only guy left, he has 2 wounds on him too, is the hero. Actually, I think it could be the general. That's good to note. Anyways, so sure enough, he runs and he just gets chased down and annihilated. It was I think just the Wolf Boy alone caught him. And we're gonna go into turn 4. So this move phase happens really fast. Skaven basically don't have anything to move except for the bell. Orcs, they move up. Gorbad charges the Warhounds, and then basically everybody else kind of moves up. And then you could also see in this picture here, Chaos starts to move up as well. We were kind of just doing it at the same time to save some time. Juggernauts move up, the Warriors move up, and then the Chariot charges the other cannon, and Valkyria moves towards the slaves. And then you can see all my Orcs here. They kind of just moved up as well. The Squigs and Black Orcs and the Savage Orcs are all kind of in a line. The Wolf Boy decides to go around the tree and just kind of hug the tree to be the closest one to it for the objective point. And he loses 1 slave for this phase for the Firestorm stuff. We're going to go into Magic Phase next, and we got a whopping 7 Power Dice, 4 Dispel Dice. He does the bell first, he gongs it again, and guess what? He gets the same exact number. And this is a question we're having because, you know, technically the the war machines are toughness 7, but we're just curious if that affects that or it doesn't because of the crew. But whatever, we counted it fair. All the war machines took a hit. I go for the foot of Gork, and it goes off, and I'm aiming straight for that general, and it drifts a little bit. It stomps 5 or 6 warriors out, and general decides he wants to get some payback. He does, not sure what it was, but it was basically a spell where he killed off 5 of my savage orcs. The bell, the Gracier goes ahead and does, I forgot which move it is, but again, he got dispelled, and he's not having any luck. That's basically his last unit right there. Yeah. Gorbad kills off 4 wolves. The remaining wolf just kind of disintegrates out of peeing on itself. These wolves here are still having a hard time with these rats. They got another wolf dead, and there's 2 wolves left. This unit kills off the tar pit units, and the chariot finishes off the cannon here. These guys finally start to move around the tower, which it really didn't matter at this point. And right around this point of the game, we decide to call a game because we've been playing for quite some time, and Brian had to go, and so I'm thinking it's the end of the game. We got to take over objective points. I had the wolf boy closest to the tree, and then all of a sudden I found out that technically the bell would have been touching the tree because he couldn't get it on there because of how close or how the hill was slanted. So it really ended up in a stalemate. Everybody has 1 objective point. You can see it here. The goblins had the tower. The wolf boy had, or I'm sorry, the screaming bell had the tree, and then Chaos had the pool. Actually, it kind of looks like Skaven won. Oh, the gutter runners popped up on top of that pool, and I think they have the majority of the points there, and they have the majority of the points there. Yeah, Skaven won. That is funny. For the whole time I thought it was a draw. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you like videos like this, just subscribe to my channel, and I'll keep popping them up as much as I pull them out. I will be going to Adepticon in about 14 days or 13 days around there, and hopefully I'll get 5 games in, and you'll see some different armies, and you'll see how my list is holding up. So far on my practice games, I think I'm doing pretty well. Most of my practice games I videotape for you guys, so that way you would be able to give me any feedback, and I'm hopefully will do decent. I don't expect to do very top tier or anything because I don't believe I'm that kind of a player, but I do believe that I'm just hoping that I could walk away with hopefully 3 wins, 2 losses, a little bit better than the losing record. I'm hoping just not to go 0 for 5. Alright, anyways guys, like and share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.